Station.
Dubai Eye 103.8.
So time now for us to talk all things sustainability. What better time to do that in the build-up to all things COP28 this time next week. COP28 will be underway. Let's talk to the team from Sila who help businesses make better decisions through AI. Their consumer insight platform uses Arabic native AI to help deliver better business decisions for all. They've just released their latest impactful sustainability report, providing analysis on ESG trends in Saudi Arabia and the United Arab Emirates. We will dive into those trends shortly, but first let's welcome their VP of Strategy and Insights of Sila is Faisal Khan, who joins us live in studio this morning. Faisal, thanks for your time.
Good morning, Tom. Thanks for having me.
Why do the report?
Well, sustainability is the
year
word
of.
the moment. Yes, exactly. So, and it's been there for a while. We did the report last year also, and it's interesting to see how sustainability trends are changing over time, how they're becoming much more impactful, how consumers are changing, and their understanding of ESG is evolving over time. So, yeah, there's a lot of information in our report, but more importantly, actionable insights for brands to take forward.
Talking of those insights, what sort of gives you the edge on other reports at the moment when it comes to those insights? What does Sila do that other agencies or reports wouldn't be able to do?
Just to bring perspective to the report itself, I think a brief context of Sila. So like you said, Sila is an Arabic native AI technology, and the Arabic native is important because Sila is the only technology which analyzes, collects data in Arabic at a dialect level. So it picks out all conversations in Arabic, assigns a dialect, and interprets that in that dialect, which has a lot of accuracy. So that's one reason. The other differentiation is it allows you to tap into millions of conversations, unlike meeting 500 people, 1,000 people, and getting reactions on what they think about AI, what they think about sustainability. What this does, this taps into millions of conversations. So in this report, for example, we've got inputs from hundreds of thousands consumers, around 900 brands, 300 government entities, brought all that together and created a story and understanding of what the current state of sustainability is in the GCC, in specific Saudi and in UAE.
Yes, unique insight in many ways as a result of that one. And it's good that you give us that sort of thumbs up. Yeah, Year of Sustainability has been a bigger drive towards it. We're tapering towards all things COP28. And it seems to be getting across the message that is, not just here in the UAE, but across the region as a whole. Let's talk youth as well. One of the key findings is youth leadership and them driving this narrative forward. Is that across the whole of the region?
That is across the whole of the region, much more prominent in Saudi, where you see more than 90% of the ESG initiative being driven by under people who are under 40 years old and more than half under 30 years old. And as a finding that becomes important because that's where they're also very sincere towards ESG. Their understanding of ESG is very nuanced. They're very well informed about the different aspects and elements of ESG. And why that becomes important is because for brands, it means you need to acknowledge as a brand that consumers today, especially the young ones, can see through any empty greenwashing. So you need to really walk the talk, right? It's not about words. It's going to be about action. It's not about puffery. It's going to be about proof. So you really need to be genuinely committed to sustainability, to your sustainability initiatives over mere rhetorical pitfalls of greenwashing.
What about the sort of main conversation drivers here? Interesting to see that in the UAE, a third of those ESG conversations that you've tapped into focus on climate change and pollution. What do you read into that?
So it's interesting you bring that up. So we did the study in Saudi and UAE, and while both sets of consumers, people are very committed to ESG, their priorities are different. So if you look at Saudi and Silo, social sustainability, social well-being emerges as a much more important theme in Saudi, where things like mental health, gender equality, income parity are your priority causes that they're most interested in. But when you change the lens to UAE, 1/3 of the conversations are just focused on climate change and pollution. I credit to the government, perhaps also where because of COP28 a week away from now, there's a lot of conversation, a lot of education drive, a lot of behavioral nudges that the government had initiated around the environment, which all leads to a more well-informed consumer set out there.
We focused a lot on a couple of countries that are key to the report as well. We focused on sort of demographics within those countries. What about brands in general? Are brands stepping up to the plate?
Yes, they are. They are. So if you compare, so this is a trended report. So we started capturing data from, and AI allows you to do that. So when we use Sila's AI, it kind of gets you into the past historic data, and you can kind of look at year-on-year trends. So in this specific case, for example, if I look at brands, there's 60% more brands this year now that are talking about ESG versus previous years. We looked at government entities. If you just look at sheer quantum of conversation or communication that the government's putting out on socials, there's a 35% surge in governments. And the government, while brands is of course important, but government entities play a pivotal role because they're the beacons of consumer attitudes, behaviors. They can drive massive education drives. They can create nudges, behavioral nudges, which have an impact on how consumers behave, which have an impact on how brands need to acknowledge the importance and where consumers, the understanding of consumers.
The report's going to land in the inbox of all the delegates that are coming here to COP28. If you want them to take one key takeaway from this report, what is it?
I think the message is for brands where they need to acknowledge that their consumer they're talking to is well informed, has a nuanced understanding of ESG, is able to discern and differentiate between a genuine effort and what is greenwashing, and hence it becomes important to stand up and really be committed to what you're saying. So I said, like I was talking about, it's really about walk the talk.
Walking the talk. Faisal Khan, VP Strategy and Insights at Sila. Their new sustainability report is out. I'm doing Virtue Zone shortly. Stick with us here.